Hi guys, welcome back. If you are new here, welcome to my channel. I like to do junk journals and cards and show tutorials on them. And today we are making this 6-pocket kind of journal flap thing. I'm not exactly sure what to call it. I think I pulled this out of my kind of idea folder, and I believe this was from Julie over at Camelia Crafts. So this is what we're going to be making today, and yeah, let's get started. So if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. Let's quickly take a look at this. So what we have here is it's a little folio that folds out, and as you can see, it's got one pocket here, one pocket here, one pocket here, one pocket here. Then we have this little gusseted pocket, so you could stick something fun in there, as well as a secret pocket that I have here on the left hand side. Just tuck in there, or when you go to glue down this little folio pocket, you could also choose to have it on the right hand side. Just depends on where you want it. For the enclosure, I just used some embroidery floss. You can use whatever twine you like, but I did add a few little gems to it just to give it a little bit of decoration. You don't have to do that though if you don't want to. So let's go ahead and get started. All we will need for this really is a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock. It does work better if your cardstock is double-sided. As well, we will need just some scrap cardstock, a little bit on the heavier side, just to make our gussets, okay? So to get started with our paper, I am going to be not really wild about the fish. This is going to go in the woodland journal that we're making. I am going to kind of really focus on this side of the paper. I like it a little bit better. I don't mind if the fish are going to show in some areas, but this is kind of the main look I want of my paper. Okay, so if your paper is directional, you are going to want to turn it sideways, okay? Then the next thing we're going to do, I see I'm not like fully on screen. Let me just try and zoom out a bit for you here so it's a little easier to see. Maybe one more. Let's do 2 more. Okay, there we go. Alright, so the first thing we are going to do is the important numbers we need to remember are 5 and 4, basically, but 5, 4, and 3. Okay, so that's what we're going to end up in sizes of pieces here. So the first cut we're going to make is at the 5-inch mark. Line that up. The second cut we are going to make is at the 4-inch mark. Which then should leave us with a 3-inch piece as well. So our pieces that we should have are 5, 4, and 3, okay? So from there, we are going to take the smallest piece and we are going to cut it again at 5 and 4. So taking our piece, doesn't really matter. This is going to form our pockets, so I'm going to turn it around so it's kind of face up here. And I'm going to cut it at 5. I lied. It doesn't, what do I want to do here? I'm actually going to turn it this way because the first pocket that we're cutting is this 5-inch pocket, okay? And it's going to go up and down. So I want to, look, I have some writing here, okay? So I want to actually turn mine this way so that I can have that pocket facing this way, if that makes sense. So I'm going to cut it at 5. Okay, so then I can turn my pocket this way. The next ones, again, my paper is directional, so I need to think about it. Did I cut the 2 off? There was a 2. Well, here's the 1 and 2 on here. I don't know if you can see that, but I want it kind of directional again. And the next pockets are, so there's our 5, The next one is going to be 4. So I'm going to cut that, making sure it's directional this way. Oops, at 4, not 3. We want 5 and 4. Then that should leave us with a 3-inch piece. Okay, these are our pockets. We're going to end up cutting this on a diagonal. So I'm going to set these pocket pieces aside for now. And now what we're going to do is we are going to do some scoring. Okay, so if we take a look at our pieces, and I lay this down, so we scored at so we're going to score at 4 and 4 and 1 tick, and then 8 and a quarter, and then 8 and I guess that's 8 3/4. All right. Let me just pause and look at my notes just to make sure I've got the measurements right for you guys. 1 second. Okay, so I double checked my measurements and we want to score at 4 inches, 4 1/8 of an inch, 8 1/4 of an inch, and 8 3/8 of an inch. Okay? What you want to do again is, if your paper is directional, because this is going to be our front, you want to turn this upside down. Okay, so now we're going to score at 4 inches, 4 1/8 of an inch, 8 inches, nope, sorry, 8 1/4 inches, my bad, so that's 8 1/4 inches, and 8 3/8 of an inch. Sorry, I'm really bad with that. So again, I'm going to say that one more time. You're going to score at 4 inches, 4 1/8 of an inch, 8 1/4 of an inch, and 8 3/8 of an inch. Okay? Okay, sorry, I just had to re-plug back in my microphone. It was unplugged there for a second. Hopefully that sound wasn't too bad. So then we can kind of just gently fold over where our scores are. Sometimes using a ruler is helpful just to get those lines. Let's see if I can get this one to fold nicely. So it should leave kind of a little edge for our folio, just to give it some room. It acts almost like another kind of gusset. And this one is being tricky, so I'm going to use my ruler and fold over. That one work? It's kind of tricky, but once it folds, then it's good. Okay, so there we go. We have our little folio. You want to make sure it is right side up. Okay, there we go. So now if you want, you can go ahead and ink and do inking of your edges if you like. So we're going to take out our folio. So that's really what I'm going to do now, is I'm going to give it a quick bit of ink. Okay, and I think it'll look nice with this on the outside and then the little fish in the inside. So actually, one thing you want to do is, do we have, no, we don't have little thumb holes on this, so this is just good to ink. So quickly inking up. And I am going to actually ink these score lines as well, just to give it a bit of definition. I like that look. You don't have to. Just do what feels right for you. Some people don't like to ink, some people do. It's whatever your personal preference is. I kind of like the edges defined a bit on some pieces. Some pieces I won't do it. I hope you're also all having a good day and that you're finding yourself in your craft room, crafting along with me. It's always more fun when you have a buddy to craft with, I think. And it keeps things interesting. Share some ideas. Also, if you want to be part of my Happy Mail swap, at the end of this video is my address. So if you go ahead and send me some Happy Mail, I will send some back. So I'll send you some ephemera, some little pieces to play with. I have fabric pieces, lots of stuff. It's always fun to kind of, like, sometimes when you buy things you get so much of it. And it's nice to be able to share that, because I'll never be able to use all the craft supplies that I have in my lifetime, and you know, you'd want to be able to have a variety of things. So that's where Happy Mail is really nice to come in hand and get some different ideas and different products to play with. So I have lots of stuff that I'd love to share with y'all if you just yeah, send me a little card and let me know maybe some items that you're looking for, and I'll try and accommodate. Okay. So I've inked that up somewhat. I don't think I have it all fully inked up, but that's okay. Got most of it. So the next thing we want to do is work on our pockets. Okay, so we're going to take that biggest piece that we have. This should be our 5-inch piece. Let me just double check. Yep. And I wanted it to go, if I put it this way, my little notch will be there. Okay, so you can already see how it's nicer if you have double-sided cardstock. It still works well with one-sided as well, but you know, just a little bit nicer for the double-sided. And I'm going to go ahead and put in a thumb notch, and for this I'm just using my 2-inch oval. It seems to work well. You can use whatever circle punch you like. You could even use a square punch if you wanted, mix it up. That's not going to hurt things at all, whatever you like. Alright. And then we'll ink this up quickly. Tell you, it's been a rough week for me here. It's I've had some insomnia, haven't been sleeping well. Oh, I didn't get that even at all, but that's okay. So yeah, insomnia and just not sleeping. The weather's changing, so that causes me some head pressure and headaches, but you know, that's fine. I like the warmer weather that's coming, so that'll be good. I like how that little fish is kind of peeking out there. So for this, I'm going to use my art glitter glue just because it's got that fine tip nozzle that I like so much, and it is a nice, good, strong holding glue. And we just do the 3 edges, okay, and we will lay that on here and press it down. Again, if you're going to be inking, you'll want to ink up your edges before you glue this down. Alright, the next piece we have is this middle piece here. Okay, so we're going to be doing this piece. And for that one, you could choose either side, but I like this side. And is there directional on this? Yes, there is. This is the 1 and the 2. So turn it that way again, putting in my notch before I start. This time try and get it somewhat more centered. Okay. Ink up the edges if you want them inked. Kind of quickly. So this little folio doesn't take long to make, but it's super impressive. It's got lots of fun tuck spots in it for you to stuff journaling cards and tags and little note papers in. Okay, go ahead, and so we want it on glued on the inside of that first score line. Let's see, how do I explain this? There's 2 score lines. You want it on the inside of the second score line, so on that inside score line, so it doesn't impede on the folding abilities. Line it up at the bottom and give it a nice little press down. Okay. Alright, so the next thing we could do, we could keep this as a pocket just the way it is here. We could keep it as a full pocket and have it on here. We could put it on the back. However, I like to cut it in half. Now you can cut it in half like I did on the first one here, which is corner to corner. You can go slightly off, so it's you know, not exactly corner to corner, but it leaves that little edge. Maybe we'll do that on this one. So I'll show you what I mean. Going to bring up my little cutter. So instead of lining it directly up on corner to corner, we'll go off a bit. And that just creates a little different, more interesting of a pocket. And we'll go ahead and slice that there. So you can see that it's not corner to corner. Let me just show you that. Okay, so we've got kind of flat edges there. And that is just fine. So we'll go ahead and figure out where we want these pockets to go. You can even add one to the front here. For this, for the little notches, I think this is just too big for this. So yeah, I don't really like the look of that. So I'm going to use my smaller little 1-inch notch to cut the notches for this one. We'll go ahead and do that. So that one I'm going to stick over here. Again, you can put them wherever you want. Quickly just ink up. Just define that notch. And I could turn it this way too. I could have it this way. You could turn it to whatever side you like. Again, I'm going to kind of stick with this one. And I think the writing is right side up, so that's good. So we'll put that one there. And glue that down. Line it up to my edge, press it down. Alright, so again we have this other piece, and we could definitely flip it over and have it contrasting to what's going on here. I am going to put it on this flap, and I could put it this way, I could put it this way. I think I want it this way. So let's go ahead and cut our notch. There's no right or wrong way to put these pockets on, it's whatever you like. Again, a little more inking. And let's glue down. I think I said I wanted to go this way with it. So glue it on this side. And down here, and I'm leaving that little flat side open. Just making sure it's not too close to the edge there, that it's going to impede on that fold line. I want this to be a little more straight. Okay, so there we go. We've got our little flap and our little pocket tucks ready to go, and I like how that turned out. So you can put in here also little notepads of paper. You can make a little notepad and tuck that in here. This would work for a good size because it's nice and wide. All right, now we need to work on our pocket with the gussets. So I'm going to be right back with the measurements for those for you. Okay, so we have now our 4-inch piece, which we are going to make into that little folio that we have at the front. And so what you're going to want to do is get your scoreboard out again and decide which way you want your paper, because it's going to go this way or it's going to go this way. Figure out which is your top, which is your bottom. I kind of like this for the top. So I'm going to score it this way, having my top here, and I'm going to score at 4 inches and 9 inches. Okay, fold that up and fold that down. And that creates our little pocket. Now we need to work on the gussets, the little side pieces. For that, we're going to need our scoreboard and trimmer out again, but I need to trim first. And we need to have a 1-inch piece that's, two 1-inch pieces that are 3 3/4 of an inch. So let's cut our 2 1-inch pieces. There's one. And there's one. Next thing we need to do is make sure that they are 3 3/4 inches. So it's 3 1/2, 3 3/4. Make sure that's lined up on the line and give that a cut. Same thing here. 3 3/4. Okay, so these 2 pieces are now our gussets. Then we want to bring out our scoreboard. My goodness, and my thing is not plugged in again, I'm sorry. There we go. Hopefully that's better. Then we are going to score them at 1 inch, sorry, not 1 inch, 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 an inch, and 3/4 of an inch. Now it's really hard to score right at that 1/4 inch, so I'm going to score at the 1/2. 3/4, and I'm going to turn my paper around and score at 3/4 again, which would give us that first 1/4 of an inch, if that makes sense. Okay, same thing on this side, scoring at 1/2, three-quarters, turning it around, and 3/4 again. Okay, put that aside. And then now we're just going to fold it accordion folding flip style. So we'll fold it this way, and back on itself, and then back again. So basically you're creating either a W or an M when you look at it from the side, okay? See that there? Or a little M where it turned around and it's a W. Okay. Let's make sure this is scored down nicely. Okay. Same thing on this one. just give it a good score. Okay, so before we glue these on, we do need to talk about our little closure. And so what you're going to want is some little, these are 1-inch circles, and we're going to use that as the enclosure. Now these are white. I'm going to look through my stash and see if I can find something that might go well with this. I'll be right back. Okay, so I found this paper and I think it'll work okay with this. I could use something completely contrasting like this, but I'm going to go with the green. I think it's just a little more appealing to my eye. So all we need to do is actually empty the little punch first, because I got lots going on in there. We're just going to quickly cut out 2 circles. There's 1 and 2. Okay, set that aside. And now, of course, I like to ink up the edges. Again, you don't have to. I just think it gives it, really defines kind of the little piece itself. It kind of makes this paper match a little bit better because it's got that brown in it. Alright, so I need to find my little score, or my little pokey pad thing, and if I can reach it. Okay. So we're going to take our pencil, and you can get really technical with this and bring out your ruler and find the center, which would be about 2 inches because this is a 4-inch piece. And maybe mark it about there. And let's see if I put this somewhat in the middle. Is that going to work? Yep. Okay, and then I'm going to find the 2-inch mark on here. I like it when math works out nicely, because if I have to do quarters or eighths, or that's where I get completely lost. Bring this in. I want that up just a bit. Put it to the top of that little. I don't really have to erase this because it's going to be covered, but I just want to make sure I'm not poking the wrong hole. And then that is going to sit, if that's the middle, about there. That should be good. Okay, so I'm going to bring out my poke tool, which is already out. And let's find our pencil line, which is there's one there. So I'm going to poke that there. And then our other line, where did our other mark go? Can't see it here. Where did I put that? Oh, there it is. Make sure I'm not poking into my pocket on the wrong side. And then that goes there. Okay, so we've got our 2 holes already. And then we want to find the center of our brads. Let's see, about there is good. Again, poke your hole. And again, find the center. I'm just not going to bother using my pencil. I'm just going to go for it. Try that again. There we go. Okay, so now I need to grab some brads. You can use whatever type of brads you like, decorative, what have you. You can even use eyelets if you want. You could put eyelets in them. That would be fine too. Just trying to find two that are the same. These guys are really tiny, so sometimes they're a little bit difficult to work with. So bear with me as I try and poke these bad boys through. I'm going to start with the circle. That would be easiest. I think. Ouch! Okay, there we go. There's that. And then we poke through our hole that we made in our folio. Sorry, this is probably like watching paint dry, seeing me try and get this done. But you definitely want to do this before you glue your side gussets on, because then it's really difficult to get your hand inside to get these done. Okay. Again, put it through the circle. There we go. And through the hole on our little folio. Bend the little prongs back, and there we go. We are all ready for that to... I guess those brads really aren't exactly alike, but that's okay. No one's gonna know. I'll just give it a little bit more ink. It'll be fine. Okay. Alright, now to do our gussets. I like to have them so that the 2 points are on... I like this. Yeah. So it's going to be so that the point of the M, if we were making this an M, okay, the point of the M points on the inside, and that will allow us to have that full use of that gusset in there. Okay, so we're going to glue it down again with our art glitter glue. Just be careful that you don't get too much so that it squidges out on ya. Okay. And then when you line it up, you don't want it right close to the edge, or to the either end here. You kind of want it up about 1/8 of an inch on either, or somewhere in between there. Make it even. You want to make sure that your fold doesn't fold over the edge. Okay, sorry, I know my head is like right in the way and I've got my cap on. So you want to make sure that there's a little bit showing on here. Sorry that my head got in the way there. Okay, just press that down. Turn it around and we'll do the same thing. So you want the point of the M on the inside. Oops. And a little rogue there. Okay. Point of the M on the inside. And try and line it up so it is not overhanging the edge in any way. And press that down. Okay. Now the next part seems hard, but it's quite honestly the easiest way to do this, and that's to glue both of these at the same time. They will settle in usually fairly nicely. You're basically just going to make sure that the edges don't overhang, okay? So we'll just kind of carefully fold this over, just making sure you get the sides kind of tucked in, which I think looks good on both ends, and then we will just hold this down and wait for it to grab. And that is really how simple it is to make a gusseted pocket. Super simple, and you can use this just as it is on its own. in a journal, or you could, you know, put it on here how it's meant to be for this project. You know, there's no wrongs or rights here. So we can do one of two things, or one of three things. We can have side tuck, or top pocket there. This time I think I'm going to go with, see the size of our journal, because this is going to take up an entire page in our journal. So I just flip through. If I put it down low enough, I'll have enough for a tag to go back behind there as well. So I think I'm going to do it on the top this time. Okay, so last time we did it on the side, or for my little example I did it on the side. Actually, let's get some string. I'm going to grab some string and come back to finish this little thing off. Okay, so I've got some of this waxed cotton cording. It's just from the brand Bead Landing, so I just found this in the beading aisle. And I just like that it's a bit waxed. You can use anything you like. Like I said on my other one, I used some embroidery floss. Whatever you've got hanging around is fine. So you're going to tuck this under and then tie a square knot. So to make sure that your knots are secure, I'm just going to use my scissors to hold this down. So you're going to tie your knot one way and then tie it the other way. So how I like to do it is I go over top, underneath, pull it nice and taut, then I go underneath and over top. So that should be the, oops, underneath and over top. That should be the opposite way of what I just tied, if I could get it tied. Like so, and pull it nice and tight, and then trim off your excess. Now at this point you can put some beads on if you like on the end of it. I'm not going to bother on this one. I'm just going to wrap it around like so. There we go. We've got our enclosure done. Okay. Alright, last thing to do. We're almost there. Almost there, guys. This is going to be a quicker video than I normally do, which will be nice for some of you. I know some of you don't like the longer ones, but I just craft and bring you along. So you can always fast forward if you don't like the commentary too on some of my videos. The one thing I didn't do is, which I should have done, is inked up the edges of these gussets just to kind of blend them in a bit more, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. Just keep that in mind if you want to do that on yours. Okay, we're keeping the top open, so we're going to glue on the two sides. And the bottom. And then that'll leave it open at the top for a pocket. So again, we got to make sure our pockets are going the right way and the front flap is the right way. So front flap is this one here. So making sure that we're a little bit away from the spine of that where it folds, but that we're not hanging off the edge either. Okay. And that's going to grab fairly quickly. And there we go. Again, you can have, we've got pockets kind of everywhere. The only place we don't have a pocket is on the back. So you can clip this in if you want a pocket to be on the back, or I'm choosing to actually glue this down. And so what I can actually do is I can have a pocket here. Oops, this isn't quite glued down yet. So I can have a pocket here, and I can also add one more pocket so that we have 7 pockets. That when I glue it down, there's a pocket behind here as well. Okay? So there's lots of opportunities to have lots of little secret pockets, tuck spots in this one. Okay, so there we go. That is our little folio finished. I hope you liked today's little tutorial. Again, this idea came from Julia at Camelia Crafts. If you haven't seen her videos, definitely check them out. She's a hoot to watch as well. So yeah, thanks so much for joining me for today's video. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and P.S. I love you. Hey guys, I would love to do a snail mail swap with you. So go ahead, check out my address there. Send me some of your creations. I'd love to feature them on my YouTube channel, and I'd love to send you a little something back. Let's spread the crafty love with each other. And if you haven't done so already, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, click that notification bell, give me a thumbs up if you like my videos. Even better, send me a comment. I'd love to know what you have to say. Thanks again, guys, and P.S. I love you.